my 8th vlog, my special vlog. This is my Ask Me Anything vlog. A couple of weeks ago, I put a post on my website doing Ask Me Anything. I wasn't sure if it was going to work because I would have just been too embarrassed if people didn't ask me anything, but thankfully 2 people did. Olivia from Meanwhile in Rivendell and Sarah from How to Watch a Movie both asked me 5 questions each, and they're great questions, so I will get on to them. I've been blogging for 4 years. It'll be 4 years, June I think it was like June 25th was my first day of blogging, was when I made my first post. So yeah, next year is going to be my 5th anniversary on blogging, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm making plans. But yes, I have been blogging for 4 years. Besides blogging, I like regular writing, just writing small things down, whatever comes to mind. Reading, I've been doing a great deal of reading this summer. I also enjoy baking. I don't really like cooking, but I've gotten better at baking. And watching television, watching movies, as we know, I like, I like watching a lot of television, and working out. I like going to the gym. People think it's crazy, but it's something I enjoy. That's kind of a hard question. It's kind of balanced. I enjoy period dramas, but the thing is the accuracy issue. You got people that are like, it has to be accurate, it has to be accurate, even though it's like certain incidents like BBC's Robin Hood. They purposely kind of put a modern touch in there, and people just don't understand that they did that on purpose. But I do really like period dramas because I love history so much. But there's a lot of modern day television that I also enjoy. I love Gilmore Girls. I'm halfway through season 2, so I'm trying to find a way to finish it up. But my 5 favorite characters would have to be Luke, Rory, Suki, Michelle, and Miss Dottie. Miss Dottie is so funny. I love her. That's another difficult one. Downton Abbey, Smallville, Call the Midwife, Poldark. Number 5. Oh, what was number 5? Merlin. I love Merlin. It's so cute. So yeah, those are my 5 TV shows, but they're probably going to change over time because then I'll get into another TV show. It's like, oh, this is my favorite TV show. But thank you, Olivia, for your questions. They were amazing. They were fantastic, and then thank you for sending them in. Next questions come from Sarah from How to Watch a Movie review site. She's got a great site. Two movies come to mind. The first one is a cartoon movie of George MacDonald's The Princess and the Goblin. Great story. I love that story. George MacDonald was actually a contemporary of C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien, so his novels actually had a lot of Christian elements in them. I looked him up, and I don't really agree with a lot that he believed in, but there are certain elements that in his writing that C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien used in their writings. So George MacDonald, he wrote The Princess and the Goblin, The Princess and Curdie, and Lilith, and he wrote several other books, but those were his top 3 young adult books. Well, The Princess and the Goblin was more or less for children, but The Princess and Curdie and Lilith are kind of more young adults. So if you want to read some really good fantasy adventure stories that kind of harken similar to Narnia and The Lord of the Rings, pick up George MacDonald's books. They're really good. But anyways, after that little history lesson. There was a cartoon animation movie of The Princess and the Goblin that was made in like the late 80s, early 90s, and it was really, really good, and I really loved it. The second one is Disney's 1994 live action movie of The Jungle Book. I love that movie. That was also what really got me interested in India. It was a beautiful, beautiful movie. So that's a good movie that I think every family should see. Narnia. I would love to live in Narnia, but kind of neck and neck with Harry Potter's Wizarding World. I think, yeah, they're so different, but at the same time, Narnia was the first thing that came to mind. I've wanted to go to Narnia since I was little. Kind of two movies come to mind. First would be Renee Zellweger's New in Town. It was a great movie. It was so funny. It was fantastic. And it really didn't get the promotion that it deserved. But yeah, New in Town was a great movie. And then another movie that tends to be very underrated by audiences, especially compared to its remakes, are the original BBC versions of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair. Those movies that have been made, that were made by the BBC in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, people complain about how the special effects were so terrible, but quite frankly, if you're a real fan, it's not about the special effects at all. It never should be. Those movies were fantastic. They followed the book word for word, and I don't really like it when people start bashing them because they were fantastic movies. And also, it really goes back to question number one. They are also another favorite childhood movie of mine. So yeah, those several movies I feel are great movies, but are severely underrated. Mean Girls. I don't understand the hype behind that movie. I think that movie has ruined a whole generation of girls, thinking that the mean attitude is completely acceptable, and it's not, and people are now reaping the consequences of falling into that nature. And it's nice, really, with the Cinderella movie coming out, the whole idea of being kind to people, even when they are so mean and so cruel to you. And now, just because of that, I think people are now taking on a new mentality, a new look on life, that young girls shouldn't be taught to be mean or pithy or just generally looking down on people, regardless if they're pretty or if they're popular or not. That you be kind to people. It will always give you benefits in the end. So yes, I think Mean Girls is a very underrated movie, and I just do not like it. May have to be a theater movie. I'm not sure. Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind will probably be Thor. I really wasn't big into comic books at the time, but my sisters loved the Thor movie, and I just didn't get the whole big idea behind it. And then I saw the Avengers, and then that got me curious about Thor. So yeah, probably Thor. Even though I didn't dislike it, I just didn't understand the big hype behind it. And then I actually sat down and watched it all the way through, and it's now one of my favorite movies. So thank you, Olivia, and thank you, Sarah, for your wonderful questions. And also thank you, both of you, for doing my first ever tag, 5 female characters. Your characters that you listed were fantastic and really well thought out and well written. I will probably do a second one next month called 5 favorite male characters. And I already have the male characters listed and everything, and the categories would be slightly different, but I'll definitely be tagging you two. And also, thank you for linking back to my site. I think you two are the only 2 people that have done the tag and have had the decency to link back to my site. So thank you very much, both of you. And I will probably be back. Well, I will. I know I will. I'll be back in September with a new vlog.